Hello, I'm Justin Carlson, and in Lesson 1 we're going to go have an overview of the SmartBoard hardware and software. First I'd like to talk about the learning goals. Upon completion of this lesson you'll be able to describe the relationship between smart hardware and software. I feel like that's often a question for people. You'll be able to create a new SmartBoard file and to save the SmartBoard software file. We're going to talk about basic content creation in SmartBoard software, and you're going to be able to download and adapt a Smart Notebook file. First thing I'd like to talk about is the hardware. The hardware is the interactive whiteboard. In this model you can see that the projector is mounted here at the top. Again, this model has a kind of a arm that extends, and there's a lens with a light in it that shines back on the board. This is actually the model we have at my school. You may have seen a type with a mirror here that reflects the projected image back onto the screen, or the projector may be in the ceiling or on an AV cart, and on this model the audio is built in. The wide area is the touch sensitive screen, which you can touch with your finger or with these special stylus. I have actually heard of folks using some blunt object like a beanbag or something to make contact with the board as just another way to just another tool, another way to use the boards. I'm going to assume in this video that your SmartBoard's connected properly to a computer and power, but those things would be connected here at the connection panel. The control module, there's a little button here. You click on that, it brings up a menu of ways you can control the board, select your input sources, and also there's a volume control there. Across the bottom here is the tray, and in there's a eraser, which allows you to erase virtual ink, and also a stylus. And again, this white area is what is known as an interactive whiteboard, and the SmartBoard is a brand of interactive whiteboard. There are other brands of interactive whiteboard. Kind of interestingly, this surface is designed to be touched with a finger or a hand. Some models allow multiple touches at a time. You can also use the stylus here at the bottom, and they have colors associated with them. But you can also use it in the smart specifications. You can use a dry erase marker. You just don't want to use a permanent marker, a magic marker, an indelible marker, a Sharpie, because that will not wipe off of these screens. So that's the SmartBoard hardware. Now let's talk a little bit about the software. So SmartBoard software is what runs on the computer that interacts with the SmartBoard hardware to give you the interactive experience. The difference between SmartBoard hardware and software is that the SmartBoard hardware is a device that allows the user to interact through physical contact with the interactive multimedia activities created in the SmartBoard software. So they're not independent, they have to be used together. They are not the same thing, but they complement one another. The actual name of the SmartBoard software is Smart Notebook, and the current version is version 11. And that's what I've been doing this presentation in, so I'd like to just do an overview of the features right now. A couple of key things are the menu items across the top. I want to bring your attention under File. This is the option where you create a new blank file. So just like any other software program, when you create a new file, it's blank and a place for you to enter your own content. If you're using existing created files, you can select Open here under File, and that will allow you to open an existing file. And then Save and Save As work just like they do in other programs. It allows you to save a file and change the name. You can also import items or export your pages as a web page or image files. There's just all kinds of things you can do. Here are some icons that help you navigate through the software. Previous and back buttons, so if I wanted to return to the hardware, I'd click this and then back forward to the notebook slide. You can undo and redo, add new pages, delete pages, open a file, save a file, change if you have a full screen view or not. Some useful tools here. You can connect a document camera right to the SmartBoard, and whatever's on the document camera will be projected on the screen. There are measurement tools that are part of the Smart Suite, and they're interactive. You can create tables. There are math tools associated with it, and this will display those math tools. And this is a handy button that we're going to talk more about in later lessons. It'll launch the Smart Exchange website where there's a lot of free activities on SmartBoard software already prepared. You don't have to create it. You don't have to pay for it. There are a lot of free items there on a variety of subjects, and you do have to register, but that is free, and then you can download just a whole variety of different activities on a variety of subjects. So they've built this right into their software. And then here are the basic content creation tools, and I'll demonstrate those now. So in my presentation I don't have a blank page. I like to add a new page, so I'm going to click on Add Page here. And then basically the pins, if I were actually at a SmartBoard, I would pick up one of the pins and be able to draw. I had the smiley faces on. Let me erase those real quick. Under pin here, I can pick the type of pen I want, a creative pen, which was the smiley face, or a pen here that will allow me to just write with more of a regular type of writing style. And I can also select different colors. I can select different line types if I need to create an arrow. I can add the arrow icon, and then when I draw this, you'll see that it puts an arrow on the end. I can also change the size of that line rather easily. So now if I draw, I get a much larger arrow. There's also a variety of shape tools here, which I can click on and make a variety of shapes. These are handy for geometry. Again, under the pen tool, I wanted to mention that you can select different types of pens. Here's a highlighter, which could be useful for highlighting text. The creative pen allowed me to draw smiley faces or rainbow, just a nice little accent pen. The shape recognition pen is pretty handy because if you need to draw something and you're not so steady, by using this, and if I draw on a relatively straight line, it will adjust and make it a straight line like it did right there. So it'll straighten it out. So that's a pretty useful tool. Kind of cleans up your writing. And then also there's a text tool. You click on text tool and allow you to type in the screen, which is pretty useful. So those are some of the basic ways to manipulate or to add content. You also need to, if you're at a SmartBoard, you could touch any of these items and move them with your finger. But in this example, I'll click on the arrow icon up here in the toolbar, and now any of these items become movable. And with this, I would be able to create tools and use these for instruction. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. Last thing I want to mention on the software is over here on the left-hand side. These are the pages. The different pages, and I can navigate through my PowerPoint by clicking on these pages, and you'll be asked to do that in the follow-up activity that we have after this. I just want to touch again on when you're touching the screen, you can use a finger, you can use a stylus, you can use a dry erase board, you can use a mouse or a trackpad. You don't have to necessarily be standing at the board to manipulate it. You can use the mouse or trackpad to do that. Another item I wanted to point out in the software is over here on the left hand side. They have this section called Gallery, and under the Gallery are a whole host of pre-made activities in a variety of subjects. So click on Gallery Essential, and you can see by subject here at the top, geography, there's flags, science, reading, math, just a lot of activities, and recently added more called Toolkit number 2 here. Alright, if you don't have the Smart Notebook software installed on your computer, the folks at Smart have created a web-based version that's free, and we're going to use that for the practice activity for this lesson. I'm going to go to a web browser and actually go to Lesson1 website and scroll down to the practice SmartBoard activity, and I'm going to click on the link to launch the SmartBoard activity via the express.smarttech.com. I click on that link and it launches the software. And basically, I'll go over the features of this software. Again, you can see this launched into a web browser, and they're kind of fully functional, but a subset of the tools that are actually built into the SmartBoard software. But the nice thing about this is if you download an activity from the web and go to from the website, the SmartTech website, which we'll talk about in a later lesson, you can open those files, you can open them into this software, and it'll allow you to manipulate them in a variety of ways. The practice activity, for the practice activity, I'd like you to click on the link that I did to bring up this file. And we're going to create a basic activity called a word sort by adapting some of the elements on the third page of this SmartBoard activity, which is this page right here. After we modify this, we're going to save this notebook file to the desktop, and then we're going to upload it back to the Lesson1 website. So those are the instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a simple word sort here. I'm going to do that by clicking and dragging these little boxes here. And remember, if you're unable to drag, you need to make sure that you have the arrow tool selected here. So I'm going to create a word sort for nouns and verbs. So I'm going to click in this box right here, and I like to change the color of this to kind of a red color. And we'll call this one nouns, and we'll click over here and make this red color as well. And call this verbs. And then what I'll do is select the arrow tool again, move nouns up here, verbs right there. And now I want to add some nouns and verbs, so I'm going to click back on the A tool and click this blue font here and just add some words to my page. So bear, click in another spot, add the word sleep, click again, add bed. And again, this is happening all through a web browser. Click again, type find, hand, and work. And then I'm going to go back up to the top here and click on the arrow tool. And now this activity could be used to differentiate between nouns and verbs. So to do that, I would say, well, what is bear? Well, bear is a noun. Sleep is a verb. Find is a verb. Hand is a noun. Bed is a noun. And work is a verb. So there's a very simple activity where I've used shapes, I've used text, I've used the multimedia experience of interactive experience of dragging these items around. So please go ahead and follow the instructions, create a real basic word sort, make your own criteria. It could be hot and cold, just any variety of things where you can apply a contrast. Once you've completed that, you'll want to go to File, Save As. It's asking me that I want to save this document to my desktop, and I do, so I'm in Desktop. I'm going to give this file my name and click on Save. And once it's done saving, copy your file has been saved to your desktop. I'm going to return to the web browser. Actually, I was in the web browser. I'm going to return to the Lesson1 website and enter my name here again so that I get credit for this. And select to upload this file by clicking Browse. And here is the file on my desktop. I'm going to open that file and click the Submit button. And it says thank you that your file has been submitted. If you'd completed Lesson 1, you'd click on the link to move on to Lesson 2. I'd like to return to the resources I used in this section, which were the web-based SmartBoard software called express.smarttech.com and you can download activities from the ExchangeSmartDeck.com site. Thank you.